Hi, Christy here. I'm in my Akashic Records and I'm going to launch the exploration today with the word silence. Silence versus speaking up. A friend of mine, Joni Miller, wrote a blog post that I read today that's pretty inspiring and provocative on this issue, and I'll put that in the description below. The things she talked about got me thinking more about, when do I stay silent? When do I speak up? When do people in general feel more comfortable speaking up versus not speaking up? And there's a lot of things that are sort of percolating in here around things that are held in tension. So inner conflict versus outer conflict. The outer conflict is, do I want to go say something? The inner conflict is, how do I not say something? And can we live with either scenario? Or, of course, we're sometimes making a blend of those things. Sometimes we'll speak up and sometimes we won't. And when is it helpful? This is like help versus harm. When is it helpful to speak up and when is it harmful to speak up? So the real thing that's striking me here is just how much tension there is around this. Now, maybe part of it's because it's my records. I have this tension. I have this feeling like I should say more and I should do more and I should make a bigger difference. And then there's another part of me that's in conflict that says, but I don't want to be against things. That to me feels counterproductive. What I really want to be is for things. So instead of being, against cruelty, which we're seeing rampantly at the moment, I want to be for kindness and compassion and open-heartedness and being connected with one another and that sort of thing. Here goes the trash truck across the street. You're going to hear it. And then I think it'll loop around and it'll come back on our side. Hopefully it's not too loud. Anyway, so this tension of, are we doing something that's helpful or are we doing something that's just contributing to the churn? So the fear, if I see something that's really upsetting to me, do I want to run right out and post that so that other people will be upset right there with me? Or do I want to do some processing of my own stuff and think of constructive solutions and try to find community-based suggestions for what we can do going forward, joining something that wants to be constructive and just doesn't want to destroy the destruction, if that makes sense. There's so many possible pitfalls here for where we can fall into some sort of trap, maybe, like you get caught in the middle of something of like, oh, I didn't want that to happen. But also, how can I not say something? I've probably said this before. For me personally, I used to read a lot of books about World War II, Nazi Germany, and so on, almost obsessively, because I somehow was very compelled. I think it was mostly from the heroic things that people did to counteract, to oppose, to advocate for those who were being persecuted. And so I think there's part of me that really identifies with, how can we support those people who are getting harmed in the most awful ways? Just like coming up now, people in the US are going to lose SNAP benefits. It's a food assistance program benefits. And I'll see people online saying things like, get a job. Like, a lot of these people have jobs. They have multiple jobs. They're the working poor. And we have this system where the billionaires are making more and the poor people are getting poorer. The split just keeps getting more and more extreme. And how can we support more equity, more fairness, more justice without getting caught in the petty, argumentative, going nowhere, pointless sort of thing? It's tricky for us as souls. Also from the soul's perspective, we've been in fights in lifetime after lifetime that didn't turn out well. We also have ones that do turn out okay, but our psyches are still wired to focus on when things don't go well so we can avoid them, right? We don't like being in pain. We don't like being ostracized. We certainly don't like being killed by people. There's a lot of old stuff. And we all have this tendency to go to what's negative, to go to the fearful, to go to the, it's hopeless, let me just get myself out of here now because this is completely hopeless. And it's not if we keep coming back to what's true for us as souls, which is that we want to develop more love and compassion, that we want to see ourselves in that light, we want to see others in that light, then that can spread. It is definitely a case of if we each attend to our own stuff, and admittedly, there are a lot of people that are like, la, 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 I don't have any stuff. Everybody else has the problem. Everyone else is the problem and I'm not the problem. Okay, so we're not going to include them in the let's take care of our stuff. But the people who are watching this are going to be people most likely who have a growth and evolution mindset from a soul's perspective. So if each of us attend to our own misgivings, our own inner cruelties, and so on, then we can hopefully go out in the world and help make it a kinder, more loving, more compassionate, more embracing, more inclusive kind of place. Because we all know what it's like, well, virtually all of us know what it's like to be ostracized, criticized, pushed out of the circle, to be othered. And can we not other ourselves and not other people who are not like us? People who are having a different soul's experience. That's the thing, there is no one that I've seen in the Akashic Records who didn't have some lifetime where they had some extreme difficulty, whether it's poverty or persecution or health issues. I mean, it runs the gamut of all the human experience. So there, but for the grace of God go I, kind of thing. And he who has not sinned, I think it is, can throw the first stone. We have this sort of amnesia around the fact that, I've done some things that I'm not proud of, not only in this lifetime, but in other lifetimes. Can I have compassion for that person that I was, the pain that I must have been experiencing, the lack of consciousness, whatever, the drivers that drove me as a soul to do things that harmed others. Can I have compassion and yet also aspire to be more loving and inclusive than I've ever been before? All right, I could clearly go on this for a long, long time. I would love to hear in the comments below your perspective on being for something versus against something. I think there's some powerful transformation that can occur when we go into that space of, what's really important to you? What are you really for? What would be your heart's aspiration and your soul's aspiration? Love to hear in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in the meantime, please go be brilliant.